Welcome to another weekly wrap up
with Preezy and Topher.
Yeah, we're back at it.
Week 7, let's go.
What happened this week? We'll run it down on a list by list basis.
Yeah.
North Carolina voter ID bill. Khizr Khan had a speech at DNC. Hilary Clinton had a speech at DNC. Take it from here, Topher.
All right, we're also going to talk about Gary Johnson, Mac Miller, DJ Khaled's new album, Major Key, Kanye, Jay-Z, Apple, and Tidal.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
That Kanye, Jay-Z, Apple, and Tidal tidbit, very entertaining. We'll get to that last.
Yeah, I'll save the best for last.
Guess what happened? There was a bill that was overturned.
You're right about that, Preezy. It was the North Carolina voter ID bill overturned by a federal appeals court.
We in there.
Yeah. Let's go, Let's go, federal appeals court for overturning this discriminatory piece of legislation that discriminated against blacks and Democrats.
That was a mouthful.
For sure. And there's a lot to this bill. I'm going to go into a lot of detail, so bear with me, folks. But yeah, basically, to give you guys a background of the bill that was recently overturned, it eliminated same-day voter registration. It shortened early voting periods from 3 weeks to 2 weeks. And it required North Carolina residents to show an ID before casting a ballot. And the 2014 changes to the bill required made the DMV your driver's license a prominent form of identification to vote, and made sure to not include let's see here, public assistance cars. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this disproportionately negatively affects blacks compared to white people, and Democrats versus Republicans. So yeah, blacks used early voting and same-day registration at a much higher rate than whites, and whites have DMV issued licenses at a higher rate than blacks. And as mentioned earlier, public assistance cards were not an acceptable form of ID after the 2014 changes to the law, and blacks have a higher rate of hold public assistance cards at a higher rate than whites. Voter ID, it seems kind of logical. It seems pretty logical. It's like, yeah, we should have an ID to vote. You should make sure that you're a citizen. But like a lot of legislation from North Carolina, this was based on faulty information. A study looked at 1 billion votes cast from 2000 to 2014. And out of those billion votes, there were 31 credible cases of voter impersonation. And, voter ID laws, voter fraud itself is a problem, but voter ID laws are not going to help solve voter fraud. As mentioned earlier, when looking at this study, there's very few cases of voter impersonation, but a lot of cases. There are about 3,000 cases where people their votes were rejected because they didn't have the proper form of ID, and this doesn't even include people who didn't show up because they lacked the appropriate form of ID. So yeah, all in all, voter ID laws in general disenfranchise black and Democratic voters, and they don't really target the problem of correcting voter fraud, the type of voter fraud that is most prominent. This decision was as mentioned earlier, was by U.S. Federal Court of Appeals. It was a unanimous decision by 3 judges, and best of all, this law was going to go into effect in the 2016 general election, but it's not going to be in effect now because of this decision. One last thing I forgot to mention is the smoking gun provision that the judges mentioned. So they call it a smoking gun provision, but basically there was a change in 2014 to this North Carolina voter ID law, and the change was that they're going to get rid of Sunday voting, but it turns out blacks vote at a higher rate on Sundays. Counties that had higher rates of black people voted at a higher percentage on Sundays. So that was another factor that pointed towards the discrimination in this law. And also one last thing I'd like to mention is that when this law was originally passed, it was passed in 2013, basically right after the Shelby v. Holder decision by the Supreme Court that dismantled parts of the Voting Rights Act that was passed in 1965. Basically, the Voting Rights Act required states that were, that have had a history of discriminatory voting laws, Jim Crow laws, poll taxes that disenfranchise black voters. Those states would have to get federal pre-clearance before passing any legislation passing any legislation having to do with voting. But basically, 2013 decision by the Supreme Court said, hey, this formula that's evaluated racist states is out of date. So until the formula is updated, states with a history of discriminatory voting laws don't have to get pre-clearance from the federal government anymore. Basically, right after that passed, North Carolina legislature passed their voter ID law.
North Carolina stay letting the team down.
You're right about that, Preezy.
So there's one time, but oh well.
Let's hope after this is passed, we'll have more Democrats voting and kind of swing this state to the left a little bit.
Damn it!
Get Pat McCrory out of office.
All right. Well, Trump upset some more people.
What a surprise!
What a surprise! Khizr Khan, who is a Muslim American or an immigrant who just happens to be Muslim. Anyways, he's a Muslim who had a son in the military who died in either the Iraq or Afghanistan war in 2004.
Right.
And he would talk to the DNC and discussed how Trump's anti-Muslim and immigrant rhetoric really affects families like that who actually have to sacrifice something for the country, whereas Trump hasn't really sacrificed anything. He hasn't sacrificed. In his words, he said Trump has sacrificed nothing and no one. And then at the end of the whole spiel, he pulled out a copy of the U.S. Constitution from his blazer pocket and said he would lend Trump his copy. Yeah,
that was badass. I really like that.
Tell him more about Khizr Khan and everything had to deal. Oh, and then hold on, there's more. In an ABC interview, Trump said Khan's wife looked like she didn't have anything to say, or maybe she was not allowed to speak.
Yeah, kind of hinting at that, Muslim women are not allowed to speak unless spoken to, sort of thing. Like an underhanded comment.
Super underhanded. We just had a dude talk about how his son died in 2004 for a war, and then that's what he has to pull out.
Really? Yeah. That's what you're gonna talk about. To Donald Trump's. To play devil's advocate, Donald Trump in the interview, he did also say he seems like a nice guy when talking about Khizr Khan, but his comments about Khizr Khan's wife, Ghazala Khan, were unnecessary and very shady. Ghazala Khan responded to Donald Trump's comments in a Washington Post op-ed. So what she said was that whenever she walks into a room with pictures of her deceased son, she gets really emotional, which makes sense. I mean, her son died in a war, so it's hard. It would be hard for her to speak without maybe breaking out into tears. So that's very understandable. And she said her husband asked her if she wanted to speak, but she said she didn't want to because she would get emotional. She said that her religion teaches her that husband and wife are part of each other and all humans are equal.
Well, that's not even the issue. The issue is, hey man, we just talked to you. We just had a dude that discussed how he lost his son and how you're a horrible example of leadership for a country that's built on immigrants and immigrants sacrificing their lives for other immigrants to come into this country. And then that's
change the subject to something completely. You're basically just proving his point by making this generalization. Yeah, she probably couldn't say anything because she's Muslim.
Yeah, and it sucks that the media probably fired back on all sides against Khizr Khan, where he had to respond to Trump's comments. He should never have had to respond to Trump's comments in the first place. Why the Washington Post, the op-ed, After the speech, Khizr Khan should have like left it on the stage, and that's it.
That was Ghazala Khan. That was the wife who had made those comments.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Ghazala Khan responded to Trump's comments. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was important to like.
Well, she's defending herself. That's a different story. That makes sense. But still, like, it should not have. Trump should be addressing the initial issue at hand instead of like beating around the fucking bush.
But that's what he's so great at doing. I guess like a lot of politicians just changing the subject whenever they get called out on their bullshit.
Trump's so entertaining. Trump's just like,
he really is.
It's hard not to watch him and be like, hey, can't believe he says that shit. But he says that shit, and then people are all about it. And
you know who else is entertaining though? Gary Johnson.
Yeah. Called Trump a pussy.
Yeah, I saw that YouTube video where he called him a pussy. That was great. He was talking about how he had like climbed Mount Everest, climbed a bunch of mountains, ran a bunch of marathons and whatnot. But yeah, and then he called Trump a pussy, and he said he would. It was like he was responding to remarks that he made during a debate where he called him a pussy, and at first he seemed kind of apologetic about it. Then by the end of the video, he was like, "But yeah, Trump's a fucking pussy."
Somebody was telling me about how Gary Johnson's kind of weird, or how I don't know. Someone was telling me Gary Johnson's too weird to be in office.
He is weird, but
like Trump's not weird. Trump's normal. That's what we want.
Oh, Trump is.
I mean, Trump not that like Gary Johnson's gonna win, but who knows? I don't know. But someone was telling me how Gary Johnson just like his policies are a little out of whack and things like that. I don't really know him too well.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with a lot of his policies, but I mean, he's balanced the budget for the state he's governed 2 years, so that was solid. So that's something a lot of conservatives are looking for. But yeah, so something to keep on your radar, guys, because I think Gary Johnson is running as a third-party candidate.
Cool. Let's see. Oh, shameless plug. We need 100 YouTube subscribers, which means we have custom URL. Yeah, we only got 5 subscribers, guys. Please, help us out.
All you have to do is click the subscribe.
You don't have to watch this shit, man. You can just subscribe and call it a day.
You don't even have to pay for anything.
Right, it's fucking free, man. Click the button. Click it. Y'all, and then y'all oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't watch the podcast. Y'all ain't sorry. just subscribe, follow. You don't have to keep up with us. Nobody's saying keep up. We just need numbers, guys.
Also, help us get our name out there.
Yeah, we don't want. Come on, we're not designed to do anything else except give y'all information on random shit.
Yeah, we'll keep it coming.
Yeah, we do our job. Your job is to subscribe and follow.
Right, we're trying to provide the world with
infotainment. Hilary Clinton had a speech at the Democrat National Convention, because, she's a presidential candidate.
Right.
So, yeah.
Seems appropriate.
There was some connections they were trying to make with her and Lil Wayne. She said, in one of her speeches, she said, when there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit. And I think CNN and some other news articles, God damn, it's a fucking air conditioner.
It's on again. I guess we'll just have to talk louder.
I swear I turned it off, guys. I apologize. We're almost done with this thing anyways. This week wasn't too eventful. Everybody was chilling at the conventions.
Yep.
Convention drama. You know how it goes. I'm sure it's going to amp up some more in the future. But anyways, Hillary said, when there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit. It's a reference to Lil Wayne's mixtapes, No Ceilings. Okay. And there's a song called The Sky's the Limit on the Drought 2. People were just speculating. Maybe Hillary Clinton's a Lil Wayne fan.
They were pulling at straws.
Yeah, people were pulling at straws.
Yeah.
And TMZ asked Lil Wayne, "Did you hear this quote?" And he's like, "Nah." So then one of the reporters told him the quote, and he was like, "I fucked with Hillary." But I don't know. I doubt Hillary's a Lil Wayne fan. But if she is, that's awesome. Some more relevant hip hop news that's strictly hip hop now. Mac Miller re-released his, or I think Rostrum Records re-released Mac Miller's Best Day Ever mixtape, and they had it remastered. I saw it on Apple Music. I jammed out to it. Gave me some vibes from back in the day. Good stuff, guys.
Dope.
Give it a listen if y'all want to hear some original Mac Miller. Major Key by DJ Khaled dropped Friday, June 29th on Apple Music. Thanks, Topher. I didn't put that in there at all, but I appreciate that. Has
yeah,
big names like
sure.
Kendrick, Nas, Jay-Z, J. Cole, Drake, 2 Chainz, Gucci Mane,
Future, right?
Future. Chris Brown's in there somewhere. Nicki Minaj, Jeremiah's got to be in there somewhere.
Dang.
Rick Ross, if that wasn't mentioned. The list goes on.
Dang, DJ Khaled is doing work, dude.
Getting anybody he wants. He still wants to get Eminem on a song one day. Another DJ dropped the album was DJ Drama. Not as big as DJ Khaled, but he still does work. This one is called Quality Street Music Volume 2. I don't know of any songs on it, but I listened to it. It was good. I enjoyed it. Some good stuff. Lil Wayne's on it. T.I. I don't know. What other big names do y'all really need? 2 Chainz might be on it. Maybe Young Jeezy, Young Thug are definitely on it.
How long has DJ Drama been in the game?
I don't know. You remember the Gangsta Grills? The mixtapes?
Gangsta Grills. It's not coming to me.
He's probably been around since at least early 2000s.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Has he been like prominent recently?
I think the mixtape series was his prominent thing, Gangsta Grills.
Okay.
So he would host mixtapes for other rappers, like 05, early 2000s, mid 2000s,
Oh, okay.
even the late 2000s, I'd say. He would host these mixtapes called Gangsta Grills, and rappers would rap on random beats, and that was his thing.
It was like a show that he had, sort of thing? Or
no, it was a
like
mixtape series, like
okay, gotcha.
like different mixtape. But everybody knew about Gangsta Grills, like they knew that was like it was his signature Gangsta Grills. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if he had his stamp on it, it must be pretty okay.
That's pretty cool. Like bringing in all those rappers, collaborating with each other, like creating a networking group for like rappers to feed off of each other's energy.
That's
rap
essentially
energy.
what it is. Yeah. And then being able to be a DJ and make that happen is pretty impressive.
True.
Because nobody really cares. I mean, people like DJs, but DJs are always like
they're
not
right.
They're like in the background, so they just don't get as much shine. So it's nice to see them do this stuff.
Right, like kind of show up on his album that was released.
Yeah. Well, what else happened?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Kanye, Jay-Z, Apple, and Tidal were all in articles together.
Yep.
So apparently near the end of June, Apple wanted to buy Tidal. Who would have knew? I didn't know that. Yesterday as in Saturday, July 30th, Kanye West posted a series of tweets. One that stuck out was, "Fuck all this dick swinging. We all gonna be dead in 100 years. Let the kids have the music." In regards to Tidal being bought out by Apple or whatever, Apple buying Tidal, and Kanye said they didn't cut Jay-Z a check. They being Apple Music or Apple. Yeah, man. I don't know. There's a lot of. Actually, I don't really care. I don't know. I have Apple Music already. I hear nice things about Tidal. Shout out to people that have Tidal, and like, you get your music how you want. I don't care. I'm gonna get my music how I want. Right. I don't know if we should have like
I would rather have one streaming service. I don't want it to be like fragmented, because like there's a time period when Life of Pablo was only on Tidal, and it was just like frustrating because I didn't have a Tidal subscription, and it wasn't on Spotify yet, so I was like, just want to listen to Life of Pablo, but I don't want to subscribe to Tidal. So yeah, I mean, and then there are other artists too that exclusively released their music on Tidal, like Beyonce's new album Lemonade, that was only on Tidal. Still haven't listened to that yet, just because I'm like stingent as fuck with like just getting Tidal. I'm going to, because that's a great album. From what I've heard.
Wait, is Lemonade only on Tidal still?
It might be on Apple Music, but I don't have Apple Music either.
That's cool. I don't care about Beyonce. So.
Dude, she had a dope music. The music video that was released on the day of the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
Formation. That was awesome.
I just don't get behind the Beyonce bandwagon. It's not a bandwagon. She's a talented artist and all that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just don't see the allure. It's like she's like Black Britney Spears to me, but with talent. Just marketed better because there is talent.
Yeah, I mean, like I like that video in particular. I like because there's like a lot of like social commentary and stuff. Like there was like her like dressed up like as like a kind of like a Southern Belle slave owner, except like she was like the slave owner and she's black, and there was like people like around her and stuff. So it's like kind of like both like women's power to women, power to black people sort of thing. And it was just like it was really hype. It was really like, and then there's like another clip where there's like this dude in a black hoodie, this like maybe 12-year-old kid in a black hoodie, and he was like crumping in front of a line of police officers, and the line was like, get information, come on ladies, get information, sort of thing. And so yeah, it was like, yeah, police officers are getting formation or like getting lined up against black people, the whole police brutality aspect of it, and then there's, you know, black people that need to, you know, unite and you know, make sure that their rights are represented. So yeah, I really enjoyed that music video by Beyonce, Formation. That's the point.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we got. It's been a good week. Not too much went on. Oh, and now the air conditioner turns off. Great.
Oh,
God, that was so
perfect
embarrassing.
timing.
Yeah, that was so embarrassing. Now people are gonna listen to this podcast like those guys are so unprofessional. Well, we had like 6 podcasts before this where we made sure the air conditioner was like off and saw it. I swear I checked to make sure the air conditioner was off this time too. You saw me do it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Fucking air conditioning. I feel like we just need a studio. Now we're just rambling, and this is all gonna go on the internet.
Right. Well.
Yeah. We do need a studio. That'd be dope. Just like Preezy and Topher Studios.
That'd be so hype.
Just, yeah. Anyways, hope you'll have a great week.
I think that's everything. Yeah.
Gave y'all podcast number 7. Whoa.
All right, guys. See you next week for week 8.